Look how great. It looks like we have a lake out front, doesn't it, of our beautiful home and family house?
Oh.
Well, as I mentioned before, I know that dogs need vaccinations when you first get them, but I really was not aware that they need them throughout their lifetime. I know they need boosters and stuff, but did you know that there's danger in over-vaccinating your dog as well? And so here to tell us about a new test that helps to prevent this is our very own Laura Nativo and her dog Delilah, who's kind of sleepy. She's a little leapy time right
It's
now.
raining out.
Yeah, and veterinarian Patrick Mahaney, he's here with Cardiff. Hi, Cardiff.
So what's the harm in this? Over vaccination?
Yeah.
Well, vaccines are very important. There are certain diseases that are potentially fatal for dogs, like distemper and parvo. But once puppies receive their vaccinations, often their immunity carries on for longer than the recommended vaccination interval. So some dogs are very susceptible to vaccine reactions. You give them a vaccine, they get very sick, either quickly or over time, especially dogs that have immune system diseases or cancer.
Sure. Now, what is the test?
The test is called VacciCheck. It's called an antibody titer test. Antibodies are the proteins that your immune system produces in response to a vaccine or to an infectious agent. Like if you get the influenza, you're going to probably develop immunity. So VacciCheck is a rapid test that in 30 minutes will determine your pet's immunity, the antibody level, and then as a veterinarian, you can decide if the pet needs to have a booster or not.
Well, Laura, you had Delilah tested this morning, right?
Right. You know how you get that yearly reminder, oh, your pet is due for their vaccinations? Well, Delilah, she had her puppy vaccinations, and she's just about due for her booster. But I wanted to find out, does she actually need it? Because she had that vaccination, and it may still be in her system. So with VacciCheck, I can find out if it's actually necessary, because what I don't want to do is over-vaccinate her unnecessarily.
So, doctor, is this a simple blood test that you take on the dog?
It is a very, very small volume of blood. It's something you have to go to your vet for it. You make that appointment, your vet draws this blood sample, runs the test, and you can know right away if you need to then provide a booster or if you can wait and retest again in a year.
So what are the results?
Yeah, did you get...
So what? Tell me
The
about
results are
Delilah.
good.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that it's been over a year since her last series of puppy vaccines. We're at that time when we would boost her, but today we tested. We showed that her immune system is still strong. She has a protective antibody level. So now we can wait for another year, test again, and not potentially expose her to an unnecessary vaccination.
So,
And you also save money from not over-vaccinating.
Absolutely.
Well, what our little friend here, Cardiff.
Yes.
He's an elderly dog.
Yes. So Cardiff is almost 10, and he has had a rough time with his health throughout his life. He's had a chronic immune system disease where his immunity destroys his red blood cells. He's also had cancer. And so this is not the dog that you want to give a vaccine to unless they absolutely need to have it because
Why?
they don't have any immunity. Because when you give that vaccine, you're causing the immune system to turn on. So in Cardiff's case, his immune system could turn on, start destroying his red blood cells again, or it could turn on and incite his cancer.
sure.
So the last time I vaccinated for Cardiff for the distemper combo was 8 years ago. Just tested him again, and he still has a sufficient antibody level. So right now, he does not need to have a booster.
What are we talking about money-wise here for something like this?
VacciCheck costs about $50, but there might be an additional fee with a vet exam or other laboratory tests that go on top of it. But the good thing is, if you do VacciCheck and determine that your dog doesn't need the booster, it's really a cost savings because if you give the vaccine and your pet has an adverse response, you could spend hundreds or thousands of dollars trying to treat that adverse response.
So I take my dog in, get tested, realize they don't need the vaccinations because of the test. Then when do I retest?
It's a good practice on an annual basis every 2 months to have a wellness exam and then to repeat the VacciCheck at that time.
At that point. Can we ask about cats, Sarah?
Sure, yeah.
Are they in the same category?
Or is there a test for them?
There's not currently an in-facility test to test their antibody titer, but there are external lab tests. And so in the future, that will be available. The company that makes VacciCheck is working on one for feline panleukopenia, a virus that affects their bone marrow and their white blood cell production.
Wonderful. And one last question. Does Delilah ever wake up?
Delilah has been shooting a movie, and this is what happens when you give a dog a job. A tired dog is a happy dog. So,
That is
DJ,
one.
can you say hi to your home and family friends?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
At some point,
Mom,
we have
I'm
to
so
we have to
tired.
dig into the vault and find the video, which is not too long ago when Delilah was a little bitty puppy.
Remember when Delilah would sit on the ledge of
Yeah,
this couch
yeah.
right here, and she fit in the palm of my hand?
Amazing. More information on, how do you say it?
VacciCheck.
VacciCheck. You can go to the website there at the bottom of your screen. Up next, though, how you can vote for your favorite wedding cake for Paige and Jason's wedding, which is coming up in a few days.
Woo.